Hello and welcome to this episode of the Humans of Horses podcast. My name is Elle and I'm the human of three wonderful horses, Fionn, Zirconia and Morgan. With me today is the wonderful Senka. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, Elle, and thank you for inviting me. I think it's been over a year since we talked last. I
Yeah.
think. I'm actually Croatian. I'm in Croatia right now. Just if people are interested in that.
I think you're my first, I've done some guests from the Netherlands and the UK, so you're my first one from a bit further afield, which is really exciting.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So Senka and I met last year at the Journey On podcast summit in Birmingham, and you're actually the first person I talked to, I think, because we had this room and there were loads of people and I was just there totally overwhelmed. And I'd been following Warwick's podcast and just seeing people in real life from the podcast. I was just like, oh, this is so cool. But I think I'm only just after yours, actually. And I hadn't listened to everyone's who was there yet. So that was really fun to hear them talk and then listen to their podcast later on, like yours and Denise as well. And I think Christina, she came along a bit after I'd actually met her. So that's quite funny. I was there because years and years ago, when I was a teenager, my mum had sort of mentioned this guy called Warwick Schiller. And I was kind of like, don't really care because I'm a teenager.
Yeah.
But I just remember her talking about this Australian guy called Warwick Schiller. I was like, okay, Mum. And then it was my manager. His wife has a horse and she was really into Warwick Schiller. And he told me about licking and chewing. Like, do you wait for the horse to lick and chew and blah, blah, blah. So maybe I should look at this guy again. And then one thing led to another. And I decided to get my mum and me tickets to the podcast summit, and that's why we were there.
Oh my gosh! So that's how it went.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you follow him a bit, like what he does before before the summit, or not so much?
Not really. Just I'd seen some like some videos on YouTube, and then I just literally listened to the podcast. Like I think I started listening to podcast in the winter of 2023.
I see.
And then just binge listened.
I see. Okay. No, but it was the night we met was the meet and greet. It was the first. Yeah, it was so exciting. But I think I was into it a bit more, not into it, but I kind of knew what to expect because Robin sent my sister and I an email like almost in November 2023. So when we got the email, like, would you guys like to participate in the summit? We were like, I can't do this, like me, like talking about what, you know what I mean? And then we had this Zoom call meetings. All of us would meet on a Zoom call, like I think once a month. So we got to prepare and got to meet the people a little bit. I think
because it felt like you all really had good connections with each other and like really knew each other. And I think at the same time that meant that we then felt like it just felt like a big group of what's the word, acquaintanceships and like camaraderie. And it, like we sort of said when we were there, it didn't matter if you're a presenter or not. It didn't matter if you're a professional or not. It didn't even matter if you had your own horse or not.
yeah,
Everyone was kind of in this equal space of like co-creation and co-evolution.
yeah. It
So
was a very inviting, welcoming group of people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And I think for everyone, things changed after, even though immediately you didn't necessarily know in what way. Like I remember when I came home, having spoken to Ben Atkinson, I was like, I just want to be a liberty goddess. Like, and I remember like just straight away being like, Fionn, come do liberty with me. Let's do awesome Ben Atkinson stuff. And he was just like, woo!
Wow.
But then after that, things sort of followed on and led to this podcast, actually. That's one of the things that came up from all of that.
That's so cool.
So would you like to talk about what changed for you?
But I would just touch on a little bit about the people there. Because Robin, at the Zoom calls, Robin, she's Warwick, Schiller's wife, she told us that by the end of the summit, we will be best friends with the other presenters. And it was even before the end, because I clicked so well with Denise, for example, and Catriona and Kathy Price. We still talk.
Yeah.
We schedule Zoom calls and we talk and we catch up. Like, I love them. Yeah, yeah. And then now that you mentioned, there were so many people there, the audience, and I didn't really think, I don't know if I should say this, but at the end of, but I will. But at the end of, so, at the end of every day, there was a connection circle. And my sister was in the circle, and the lady said that this was one of the ladies. She said that this was the first time she feels safe, like literally in her life. And then she realized, oh my gosh, this is such a big deal for a lot of people to actually find their group, find such welcoming, inviting group of people who will let them be themselves. And that was so eye-opening for me. And then now that you said that after the summit, things changed a lot for you, I didn't really think about how it actually impacted all the people there. And this is so amazing. I love what you said. It's so amazing. But also what you did. You said yes to things. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and that's what your sister said in her
Yeah.
presentation. And like, I'd already started saying yes, but that momentum has grown and snowballed since. And now I just am like, if an idea comes along in my head, because I'd read Elizabeth Gilbert's Big Magic actually at the time of the podcast summit, roughly. And then I was like, right, I need to start catching these ideas before they flitter off. So now I just I have a WhatsApp chat to myself and I just dump ideas down in there, like when they're coming to me when I'm out and about. And then like earlier I was just in the middle of lunch. I was like, I need to write a piece about like racehorses and from the perspective, like the life of a racehorse from the perspective of a racehorse. And I need to do it right now.
No, I got your email just earlier. I got the email and I read it and I was like, yeah, I like it. I agree.
So saying yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is so amazing. Also, I didn't know you were a professional skier.
Oh, yeah, well.
Wow. I mean, I find, like, I was invited to go ski with friends and I never went because I was always too scared.
Was that in Zagreb?
Yeah. There's
Nice.
like a mountain.
Slimje.
Yeah,
Slimje? Yeah.
A slim. Yeah, there you
Slimje.
go.
Yeah, see, I've been there.
I mean, it's really hard for you to pronounce it. Yeah, it's very hard.
Yeah. It's like SJL.
Yeah. And LJ is pronounced as one sound, like L, which is, I think, almost impossible for you to say.
Yeah.
So don't worry. But wow, yeah. But I never went because I was too scared to ski. And then like there's just something about skiing. I don't know. But so I have massive respect for people who ski.
Yeah, and you also have, you have the very famous Ivica Kostelic and Janica Kostelic.
Yes.
Yeah, and now the younger generations with Zrinka Lucic as well, and Andrea Popovic, I think is her name. Yeah.
Oh, I kind of stopped following after Janica retired. And then we followed her brother Ivica a little bit, but not as much. Janica was like the it girl. But after she retired, I think a lot of people just stopped.
Yeah, there wasn't the level anymore, but now Zrinka, I think, was even world champion this year.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's very young, so she's cool. I like her. Anyway, total tangent. But back to horses.
Back to horses. Wow. Good for you. Good for you. Oh, I love this story.
So what have you said yes to since Birmingham?
So that was last year in August. I said yes to one of the biggest things in my life, actually, which happened in September last year. And I said yes to a trip to Peru, to the Amazon rainforest, where we stayed for like over 3 weeks and did 10 ayahuasca ceremonies with the shamans.
That's awesome.
It's awesome, yeah. Um, it's awesome and like what?
And you're like, did it happen? Like,
Yeah. But so before the summit in June, I attended ayahuasca retreat in Croatia, and it was a 4-day thing with the same guy from Peru so he came and did ceremony. I think he was here for 2 months. And so we did 3 ceremonies, and it was very interesting. But even before that, I decided that I would go to Peru because that presented itself like a thing, and I already knew I would go. But then after the retreat in Croatia, I was like, I can't do this for 3 weeks. Like, it's just so hard. And like, and I'm not people do ayahuasca for the trip, like for the high. I don't do drugs in any sense. I think I smoked pot a few times and I was like, not for me. So I'm not, yeah, it's just not, I don't even drink. Like, maybe once a year I have a drink. Like, so this is a very specific feeling you get, and it's very intense. And I was just like, after the retreat in Croatia, I was like, nah, like I'm done with this. This was enough. Obviously, if you want to go for the right reasons, you go for the healing. Like, you do it ceremonially. Is that a word?
yeah,
So you go
I
with an
think.
intention of what you want to heal. What did you say? How did you
I
say it?
think. I don't know. You're asking me if it's a word. I don't know. I think it's ceremoniously.
Ceremoniously.
Maybe.
Okay, sounds good.
Who knows?
So you go with an intention of what you would like to heal, what would you like to change in your life, and then after every evening, so this happens at night because it has to be dark, the next morning or the following morning, there's a sharing. So everybody comes together in the same room and they tell the shamans what they saw and felt, and then the shamans tell them what they saw and what the visions mean. So it's not, oh, I'm gonna get high and whatever. No, this is like
With intention.
with intention of healing. And I went that retreat. My intention was for ayahuasca, the plant spirit, to show me who I am, because just before, so but people don't know, I have a twin sister, and in every twin dynamic, there's one that's more dominant, which was not me. So I always felt like my sister was better than me. I wanted to be her, all these things. We started separating maybe some 20 years ago when I did a senior high school year in America. I went to America for 1 year, and that's when we actually started. Um,
Becoming your own selves, I guess.
yes,
Yeah.
but it went very slowly. But still, we started. And we were physically separated, and the whole thing, there was no internet back then. I mean, there was, but WhatsApp wasn't a thing. I think I called home like once a month or something, so I didn't speak Croatian at all. I came back home speaking Croatian with an English accent. It was like,
Who is my daughter?
yeah. But last year I was like, the words I'm speaking, is this me? Who is this? Are those my words? Like, it really started to shake things up, like, properly. And so I went to this retreat with the intention of the plant spirit to show me who I am. Who am I? And I will come back to the first ceremony a bit after. But the first night was so intense of her telling me who I am that I actually didn't say anything the following morning. I was like, people will think I'm crazy. I will be locked up for real. Like, people will lock me up. And people usually have things like, and there's something, I don't know if you know much about ayahuasca, but there is purges involved, like you throw up, which is actually a good thing. You literally physically throw up your crap. like your emotions, the blockages. Yeah, it's very clean and stuff. You have your little bucket, everything's clean, the white sheets, you're all dressed in white. It's very ceremonial, not people like throwing up everywhere. Like I thought this was gonna be like
not like on a drunk night out.
No, not at all. Like you have your bed and you lay down, you have a little bucket. When you need to throw up, you're like, and then so it's very, yeah, and then you clean your bucket. Everything's super clean. So so the following morning, people were saying, "Oh," and you can talk to her, like you can ask, "What is it coming out?" And then she tells you it's your whatever. So people have stories like, "Oh, I saw walls crumbling," and then it's like your ego crumbling and stuff. Mine was not like that, so I didn't say anything. I was like, "This is too much for me and for everybody else. People would think I'm crazy," and I didn't say anything. And so the retreat went, and then after like a week after the retreat, I was like, no, I still have to go to Peru. I'm going to Peru. And so I think it was mid-September last year that we went. It was a group, I think there was maybe 7 or 8 of us. And the lady shaman, who is Croatian and is a student of this Peruvian shaman, she took us. So she knew, like, she gathered the group and we went. And so the first ceremony, we had 10 ceremonies in Peru. And the first ceremony in Peru was absolutely identical to the first ceremony in Croatia, after which I didn't say anything. My sister was like, "What? That never happens." Which it really doesn't. Except for the plant was yelling at me, "Get it into your head. You have to say it tomorrow in the morning at the sharing. You have to say it. Get it into your head. Understand it already. Get it into your head." And what she was telling me is like, so who I am, this is how I saw it, was that I'm an intergalactic princess. I came here to fight evil. I'm gathering my army. In my army is Archangel Michael. It's like this is a very crucial time for Earth and the universe. It's very important. I'm the chosen one. Like it was just the ultimate ego boost. Like it was just enough. Like,
Yeah.
hey, no. So you have people throwing up like, "Oh, relationship with mom and dad," and here I am. I'm an intergalactic princess. I didn't like. It was just too much. Of course, I didn't say anything. And when the thing started again in Peru, I was like, "No, no, not this again. No, no, no." And she was like, "Get it into your head!" Like she was yelling at me. And so the next morning, I managed to like say it. And the shaman said, they didn't tell me like, "You're crazy. What the heck?" They were like, "You're also a shaman. Like, welcome to the family. Come back next year and we'll teach you."
Wow.
And I was like, "Wait, what?" And I prepared to go to Peru, like just to have a miserable time, just being nauseous the whole time and all of that. And in fact, I realized after like 2 ceremonies that I came here to have lots of fun, like lots of fun. And so Peru was also so significant because at some point I realized, because I worked a lot on myself, like, I don't know, I did a lot of self-development work over the last 20 years. And my goal was like to be present and to find peace. And I realized in Peru, I reached that point. Like I got there.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I was like, and now what? Like, no. What was also cool is in Peru, I realized like, I don't know where my life is going anymore. Like it's just, but it's unknown, but in an exciting way. Like I just cannot, it will be so cool. I cannot even imagine it. Like I cannot picture it with this mind. I cannot picture it. I will have to grow into it to see it.
It's like, have you ever seen Dr. Quantum on YouTube? And there's a video, search for it after. I'll try and send you a link.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Flatlands, and he shows a world that is 2D and a character, he's a little circle, there's 2D, and Dr. Quantum is in the 3D world. And he's basically explaining how there's another dimension. He's like, but you can't understand it because all you know is what is here right now in your existence. So I think it's kind of like that. It's like we can know that there's more and a higher level of things, but we're not there yet in order to understand it. And it's like, to open those channels, we need to grow and evolve ourselves first.
Exactly. You will only understand it once you're actually standing there. Then you'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, this is it. But like you said, from this perspective, we just cannot, our minds cannot comprehend or know or understand, which is exciting, I think. Exciting. And I realized, like, all up until that moment, I kind of knew. I was like, well, you go to school, then you go to college, and then a bunch of horse jobs that I had, and then another horse job, and then I don't know what. But I was starting to get quite miserable with that. But I was like, well, this is my life, I guess. And then all of a sudden, everything flipped, and I was like, wow, I actually have no idea where I'm going now. You feel safe, and you feel like you're at the right moment in the right time, which was very new to me.
And I think that's what happens when you say yes, because when you start saying yes and then start saying yes more, you're then following that path that you're meant to be on, whatever that looks like. And it doesn't matter where you're going, because it'll all work out as is.
Because it doesn't matter where you're going, because where you are is so awesome and totally good enough. You're like living the life you're supposed to live.
Like right now is enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. So, yeah. When I was in Peru, I was so happy, but not happy in like this, oh, I'm so happy everything's going the way I want it. Not like that. I was just like truly happy, joyful. And I remember thinking, gosh, if everybody could feel like this for at least a little bit, so they know what they're after. Like everybody. This is like what I wanted for everyone. Just to kind of get to this point or feel it somehow, like there is hope, because there's a lot of pain in the world, and a lot of people suffer, and they don't know how to get out. They don't even know they're suffering in a way. And I just really had this thought, like, I wish everybody could feel like this for at least a little bit. So, yeah. What also I saw in Peru. So I did last year in spring, I did theta healing courses. I did three. And then I asked, in one of the ceremonies, I asked if I should continue doing that. And the answer was like, absolutely. Like, you need to go back home and start a business. And I was like, okay. Because the ayahuasca spirit can be a bit intense sometimes like that. So I didn't do it right like that. But I did start the business eventually. And I kind of, now I'm actually kind of helping people get there closer to the feeling that I had, and I still have it, which is pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. And even though since I've known myself, I've been saying like I don't want to work with people because it kind of drained me. But doing it in this way actually lifts me up. It's so cool. After a session, when people feel better, then I feel better. So I feel more energized. It's so cool. Like,
it's funny, right? I mean, it's like when you pass someone in the street and you just smile at them and they smile back, you feel better too.
Yes, totally.
So then do that on an even bigger level, and yeah, I can imagine that feels pretty good.
Yeah. And I'm like, also the thing with horses is, like, it's so strange because I've always loved horses. I literally don't know myself without like having this passion for horses. And since you love something so much and you're actually quite good at it, it was so strange for me. I didn't even think that this actually wasn't the thing I came here to do. Like, why would I? Like, you love something, you're good at it. Like, it doesn't make sense that this is not your thing. But looking back, what's very interesting is that I actually struggled a lot on these horse jobs in every single way. Like, it's always, either I was alone or almost at every place, and there was quite a few around Europe and the world. I didn't like how they treated horses, so that would bother me. I couldn't like influence like the business to change. Like, why would they? They were earning money. That was actually what was important, right?
Mm.
And that would bother me. The work was very hard. So I was like alone, working too much, watching these poor horses, like, oh, like it was just, I really struggled a lot. And I could think that was a way of universe to tell me, like, this is actually not what you're supposed to be doing. Because my sister did, she was sometimes on the exact same place as me and having a completely different experience. Like sometimes we were together, like me, like not being able to sleep, being hungry, like there was so much stuff sometimes, and she was
Yeah.
fine.
This reminds me of Chantel and the whole like how our brains perceive the same situation differently and our lived experience of the same event is different
Uh-huh.
because we are the sum of our experiences and our own I'm not a scientist, but our own like bio chemical compositions and all of those things. And it's like, if you and I sat and watched a horse trot round in a arena, we would both perceive that differently.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful because that is our individuality and that is I'm not going to say specialness because I can't remember who I was talking to about this, but our own like uniqueness and like owning that uniqueness.
What I think also is important, like all the soul stuff. Like this is our physical, like how I see things, but why do I see them like that? Okay, it's all the experience we had with the parents growing up, environment, social conditioning, and whatever. But there's also like, who are you? Like, why does this work for you? It doesn't work for someone else. Like our
Yeah.
motivation, our desires, like what do I want? And then there's the path we're supposed to be walking and we're not. And then the universe keeps pushing us like, no, come back to your path.
I was talking to someone yesterday and I was kind of like putting together my entire life story from like day one of being born to now. And he said the commonality there is your resilience, but he was like, you had the resilience way before you did all the other things in your life. Like, so then it's like, then I started, I was like, well, where does that resilience come from? That is such a core part of who it means to be me. I'm like, where does that come from?
Yeah.
And that's the question I've kind of been sitting with since yesterday. But
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's so true. Where does it come from? And it comes from, I think, you. Comes from
whatever me is. Yeah.
like the essence of you, something that's not tangible, like you can't like feel it. But it's I kinda a little bit I got in I mean, not me reading stuff, but I got interested in astrology, which is like the date and time and place where you were born and the planets were set up in a certain way. Well, the planets you were born under those conditions, so your soul can actually has because every planet influences something and combined with other planets is something else. And it's like this is the blueprint for our soul to actually fulfill what we came here to fulfill from whatever with all the baggage that we're from some reason we have a lot of baggage sometimes we don't. So it's all planned ahead. We're born at that time for a reason. That's why we weren't born 1 minute before or after. And I find that very cool. So maybe if you look at your natal chart, maybe there's a lot of resilience actually, because whatever. And yeah, so that was maybe given to you. Like
Yeah.
your gift. Here we go. Resilience.
Yeah, maybe. Do you want to talk about theta healing for anyone who doesn't know what it is?
Huh. I can't. Yeah. Um, theta healing. So theta healing is a form of energy healing. So it can be done remotely, or in person, or it doesn't matter because it's energy. I do it with people from all over the world. We do a phone call. It actually it we can hold blockages on basically 4 levels, which is what we inherited, like what we gathered in this life from our upbringing and stuff. It can be on genetic line from our ancestors, what has been passed on through generations. It can be from our past lives that wasn't resolved, or we didn't learn the lessons or whatever, so we drag that along as well. And it can be also on the soul level. And then so people come with a problem, whatever it is, like, also what I do is sessions with like people and their animals. So let's say a person comes, which I actually had, and she didn't feel relaxed around her horse. Even though the horse was super well trained and very happy, she just didn't feel it with him. So what we do, I don't work on the animal, I work on the person. Because
Yeah.
there's always beliefs behind, like, I'm not good enough. This particular lady was actually scared. She would screw up the training. Her daughter did. So then she felt unease around the horse. Like, oh my gosh, if I do this, will I screw him up? Like, he won't be so well trained anymore. So we were actually working on her confidence. And it got better. Like, the next time, she actually has horses at home. So she said she feels a lot more relaxed around him now. But it can be a lot of things like that. And I call the person, they come up, they say what problem they have, and then I do a reading to see what I will see. And it's usually a picture or a little like movie playing out in my head about a problem, and then we take it from there. And yeah, and then we change the beliefs. Our lives look as they do because we hold certain beliefs, which are negative ones or positive ones. Not everything is bad in our lives, obviously. So whatever we believe actually mirrors outside, on the outside world. And that can be changed. It can be changed. So yeah, that's what we do. And I do with people. And it's very fun and it's super cool. And people, like, a lot of times people instantly feel better. Like, they feel the relief, they feel a lot more relaxed, and then things.
Do you think that comes from just like you holding that space and them essentially feeling attunement?
I literally directly ask that this belief be changed with this one. And then I ask for, let's say, um the baggage to be released. Sometimes people don't want to release it because when it's a big thing, if you release it, then who are you?
Yeah.
The big baggage becomes part of your identity. So people
Yeah.
struggle sometimes to let go because they don't know who they will be if they let it go. So then we have to find a work around it. But the thing is, I don't have to make anything up. I just ask, because beforehand I connect up through a meditation. So whenever things don't flow or something, I just like ask, now what? And then I get an answer. Ask this, do this, and then we carry on. Which is cool. I don't do anything. I'm just like a channel. It's the universe or the creator or God who does everything, obviously. I'm just here to like help it flow and communicate with the people. But yeah, so that's cool. I don't have to make anything up. I just ask.
Yeah. What is it that kind of, because I'm trying to think back now, basically, where did you get to being here now? Like, was there one moment where things kind of changed, or would you say it? Yeah, basically what happened.
I think, like you, I just kept saying yes.
Mm.
And I think I have this urge since I was little to like keep pushing and finding better ways for me. And that is actually in my natal chart, which is so funny. I didn't even know. I was just doing things to like get better because it really, and the talk I had last year at the summit was about fighting depression for 19 years. So, and I got out, like, it was 2021 that I was doing, which also, this is what I talked about last year at the summit, but I will say it now because it's so awesome. There's a book, it's called The Present Process, and I did it like 7 or 8 times, and I got rid of depression. It wasn't easy by no means, but I got rid of it. Remember, I did it last 2021, it was fall, and it was very messy. The 10 weeks were very messy, but I knew that it will never come back. The feelings will not come back. Nothing. The thoughts, I knew it's gone. And it really was. Like, I never since then had those feelings or thoughts. And the thoughts are kind of like, and everything's fine. Like, I always, like, I had a job. Like, this is my grandma's flat. I made it really nice. So I had a pretty great life from the outside. I had my own car. Like, I was fine. I was close to my family and my friends. But still, I would go to sleep at night, and I was like, it's totally fine if I don't wake up tomorrow. Like, it's time. And not just it's fine. It would kind of be okay. Like, you know, you keep walking around with a lot of weight. There's just a lot of weight. And you don't know where it's coming from. You don't know how to make it go away. So, and then it just went away. I mean, it didn't just go away, but
Took
I
some
worked
work.
on it. Yeah, and it did go away. So that was one huge step for me to kind of get rid of all of that. And then since then, things kind of started speeding up. Like, I felt like I was going up, like, in my awareness, consciousness, and all of that, in like huge steps, leading up last year to Peru. And this year we'll also go into Peru, and so we'll see what happens. But I
It's very
think
exciting.
it's very exciting and a bit
Yeah.
scary. We'll see.
Senka the shaman.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Also,
It-
and so just remind me, I want to just say a few things about life's purpose.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Life's purpose.
Yeah, but anyway, so that's what led me here. Just keep pushing, because I'm so naturally focused on, like, solving my problems, that I just arrived here. And so also now when I work with clients, so a lot of people don't know why they're here for, like, what are they supposed to be doing? You know what I mean? They don't really
Yeah.
have passion. Like, I had horses always, so that was easy for me. But a lot of people, majority of people don't. They just kind of go to work. They do fun things, like they go and have drinks with friends, or they play some sports, but it's not it. It's not
Kind of
it.
like some dopamine fixes, and that's kind of it.
Yeah. I mean, you
Yeah.
cannot just go to work, so you do other stuff what other people do, but it's not you, really. And also, the work you're doing, it's not really fulfilling, but you do it anyway because that's how it
Yeah.
is. You have to get
Because
it.
I feel like some people kind of are in a job because of the comfort of it. And it's like, this is just what I've done. This is what I've always done. And this is what I'll carry on doing. Or it's what was expected of them. So
Yeah.
it's like, you studied this, so you go do that.
Yeah. But also, they don't know what they wanted to study. Like, had their parents given them, like, study whatever you want, they wouldn't know, like, what to pursue, which I think is kind of it's not a great feeling. I I never had that, but I can relate. Like, it's not great. And so on in the session, sometimes people tell me, like, like I don't know why I'm here for, what am I supposed to be doing? And they want me to tell them. But obviously, usually I don't see anything for them because I'm not meant to see at that moment. And what I kind of wanted to say is, and I know I had people tell me that, like, oh, you're so lucky doing something you love. And people think, like, when you do something you love, everything's peachy and great and just awesome, and they're just like, you're just so happy. But it doesn't work like that. And
No.
also, our purpose, like, is something hard. It's not something like, your purpose is not to ride horses. Nobody's purpose is to ride horses. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
something the opposite of what you want to do. Like me, I always was saying, like, I don't want to work with people. And then last year in Peru, so what shamans do in the ceremonies, they sing. it's a singing ceremony. One of my biggest fears in life in general was to sing in front of people, of course. And I never like worked on it. I was like, who cares? I'll sing in my car by myself, or I just won't sing. Like, big deal. Like, I won't do karaoke. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then it turns out, like, I actually have to sing. You know what I mean? So that kind of stuff will be your life for something. Your life purpose is to get to it. You'll have to really climb this mountain. It's not something.
Yeah.
So, and I realized that someone told me 10 years ago that this is what I'm actually supposed to be, I would be like, oh, please give me a break. Like, I would just like shrug it away. Like, I wouldn't even bother to listen. So the life purpose is shown to us when we are actually ready to pursue it. That's why it hasn't been shown to who doesn't know. That's why it hasn't been shown to them. Because if it was shown to them, they would just be like, no, I'm not doing that. So once we actually release all the baggage and stuff and heal enough, and we're actually ready to take the step, someone will tell us, we will dream of something, it will come to us. It will. Because that's how it works. But before that, when you're not ready, you just keep searching. And all you can do is you can then just heal yourself and work on yourself. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say.
I'm just processing that because I'm smiling, but that's very true. It's very true. Yeah. Because my whole journey since retirement has been healing. I didn't want to make this about this, but it's coming up, so I'm just going to talk. With the skiing, so like competing as an athlete. So I wrote that piece today about racehorses, and the parallels between my life and a racehorse's life, I was like, there's a lot of similarity there. Because essentially, as an elite athlete, yes, it was my choice. Racehorses don't have a choice, but it was my choice to do what I did. Because as a 4-year-old, and like, it's really not normal for a 4-year-old to be like, I'm going to go to the Olympics. Like, who does that? Who says that at 4 years old? Most 4-year-olds is like, I'm going to be a princess. I'm going to be a vet. I'm going to be a doctor. I was like, I'm going to go to the Olympics.
Wow.
So I talk about now, like, it's been a very long process of transitioning out of sport for me. And I don't know how it is for other athletes, but for me, it's been like that athlete was a consuming identity of my life. And in some ways now, she still serves me. Like, there are things about her that I love, that I call her a her because she's not me who I am now. But there are certain triggers that come up, and that will trigger her to come out and behave in ways that are not productive. So I'm just like, just shush. Like, I don't need you right now. Go away.
Wow.
But it's also a hurt child. And it's like, to be an athlete, you are deciding that you want to become the best person in the world at the thing that you're doing. And to do that as a child, it's like you take away what would be a normal, nurturing childhood because you're already having to be so driven and so focused and so dedicated to one thing. And coming out of that has been really hard because now I don't have to be the best anymore. I just have to be enough. And that's been the journey of the last 10 years, is learning I am enough and learning that I am me, and whatever I'm doing in my life, like whatever job is, whatever, that's not who I am. It's just what I do to facilitate me growing into who I am. And yeah, so your words kind of hit me there.
Yes, you're not your job.
No. Like, and I had this conversation with a friend recently when I was lost at the horses, and she said something like, I don't want to be remembered for my job, but some people, all their life is just their job. And it's like, yeah, you want to be remembered for like, oh, I'm Elle, and like, I was really resilient, or I was really compassionate, or I had a lot of empathy. And I want to be remembered for the athlete or whatever.
It's not a bad thing. You know what I mean?
No.
So what if
Like,
you want to be remembered as an athlete? You know what I mean?
it's fine.
Yeah, it is fine.
Yeah.
And obviously, it was a big lesson for you. First of all, it was a big pull for you. You were 4 years old. Like, come on.
Yeah.
What? Like, I was the one playing princess and stuff when I was 4. Actually, we played horses, but whatever.
I played horses too.
Yeah. I didn't want to go to, I didn't even know what the Olympics were. Like what? So there was this crazy pull for you. From some reason, you obviously had to do it. You literally had to do it. Wow.
And I also had to fail at it because I wasn't meant to become the Serena Williams or the whatever. In my sport, it's Michaela Schifrin. But I wasn't, or the Zrinka Lucic. I wasn't meant to become that, but I needed to fail at my childhood dream to go on to whatever the hell I'm doing with my life. I mean, wherever it's going. Who knows? Like you said, who knows? It's okay that we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That kind of reminded me, I traded sessions with Catriona McDonald.
I love Catriona. Hi, Catriona, if you're listening.
She actually offered to gift me a session, and I'm thinking, she actually told me, I didn't have an intent. I just let it be, which I usually don't do. But what actually happened, I didn't realize how it would happen. So I didn't have, like, I feel like I got confused with the time, and she already did the session. So that's why I didn't set the intention, because I got the times mixed up. And so she literally saw me, like the essence of me and who I am, and like my life purpose. And she said, so she didn't say intergalactic princess, she said intergalactic princess. And then she told me how she saw me, and she also cleared some. She said I had a lot of sadness in my female line, so she cleared that. But maybe, I don't know, have a session with her and ask her to
see what she says.
Yeah, but maybe ask her specifically to tell you who you are. Like, what is it? She's awesome. Like, she's so.
I love her. So I have a Catriona story that I'm going to hijack this podcast for. I met Catriona as well at Birmingham, but very briefly, and it was like walking to the theatre on like the 3rd day maybe. And I said to her, because it was after her talk, and I said, "Did you take us to the Cotswolds?" And she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, cool." And then we were talking about how we were in Birmingham, but how like nature was still there, and that was our little tiny discussion. That was it. And I met a few people, and they were like, "You should join her horse circle group." So I've kind of sat in there for a while, not really doing anything, but occasionally writing some random thing. And then one day, like, because she'd always have these horse circles, and I was basically, anytime she had them, I was working. So I was never able to go. But I also look at it now and I'm like, I wasn't ready yet to go to one. And then on my 30th birthday, I had plans. I was flying back from Milan, having done my 6-monthly check. And I was supposed to meet my friends after, but there was also, I think, at Amsterdam airport, there was like, because it was the NATO summit, so they said there'd be lots of flight delays. So I was like, oh, it's going to be a really rubbish 30th birthday. That's what I was thinking. But I was like, oh, well, c'est la vie. And I think it was a few days before I saw her post, like, there's a spot on the horse circle on the 22nd of June. And I was like, because it's solstice, right, on the 21st-ish. And I've always had this pull to Stonehenge and like the whole solstice thing just because of when I'm born. And like, this is what's really weird. I live in Somerset now, and I was always like, had this obsession as a child with Somerset. And Stonehenge is like an hour from where I live. Anyway.
Yes.
That's a tangent. But I saw her say there's a space available, and I messaged her. I was like, look, I don't know for sure if I can come, but if I can come, I'll let you know. And it will be very last minute. So on the day I was like, Katrina, I'm home. And it was like an hour before the session. I was like, I'm home. My friend cancelled on me. Can I still come? And she was like, yes, you can. So I joined this horse circle, and it was all about the solstice and like the polarities and how you have like a build up of the year. And then like the other side of the solstice is like the settling of the year. And there was like this white horse and this black horse, and I have a white horse and a black horse, and this was like yin and this yang. And I was like, that's my horses / my life. Anyway. And you did this whole communication thing with, the horse circle at the end. So you meditate and then you go to meet the horse circle. And I was like, so I've been aware that when I dream, I travel in my dreams, but I don't always remember them. But then sometimes I have moments where I'm like, I've seen this before in my actual life. And as a child with ski racing, before I was about 15, when I had, well, I'm just going to say it, I was emotionally abused by a coach when I was 15. And before then, I used to dream about every ski race the night before a ski race. And whatever that dream was, that was the result. Yeah. And this was like when I was 13 or 14. And then after that, I lost it because of the emotional abuse. So, then, so in this whole circle, I was like, I did go somewhere, but what I felt was like this feeling in my heart, and then it moved to my throat. And then I went places, and it was like flash, 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 flash. And then when I came back into the circle and we discussed what came up for us, I was like, I didn't even think about it. It just came out. I said, the horses told me that I need to feel what's in my heart and say it loudly. And that's through like writing or podcasting or whatever. And then the flashes were like where I need to go and what I need to say. And so Katrina was like, just see when those moments come up in the future, like see when they come up.
Wow.
So that was my Katrina story.
Wow.
It was really cool.
It's so cool.
Had I done a horse circle a few months ago, I couldn't have done that. So I wasn't meant to go to one until just now.
When you said you like wanted to go and it just wasn't happening, I was like, I thought to myself, I thought like you probably weren't ready, and then you said it.
Yeah.
Oh. Also, hang on. You live in Somerset now?
Yeah.
Because when I worked in England, I was in Salisbury.
Really? Cool.
Yeah, and we were so maybe the farm wasn't in the town, so it was from one part of the farm we could actually see Stonehenge.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then every time we would go to Tesco's or wherever we went for shopping, we would pass Stonehenge.
Well, when I drive to my horses, I pass Stonehenge all the time. So.
Gosh, this is so crazy that you're just there where I was. Like, it's just,
not that far away. It's like an hour. Yeah.
And then I think one of the girls from the farm took me to Somerset to a pub, and it was a quiz night. Pub, I don't know, whatever it's called.
Yeah, like a pub quiz. Yeah.
So that was in
Somerset. Very British.
Yeah. And we drove for a while to Somerset from where we were. So yeah, it was about that distance. That's so cool.
Yeah. No, I like Somerset.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm sorry for, yeah.
It's okay.
But I'm
working on it.
Yeah. Wow. And your Katrina, the horse circle. Wow.
Yeah, that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was that when you started the podcast? Or was it?
No, so that was, okay, this is like such a tangent now. That was from, so the talk in Birmingham, Denise's talk was the talk that gave me the most excitement. Because I remembered, I was like, I remember as a kid loving stars, like absolutely being so fascinated, like staring up at that sky and like been completely bewildered by the expansiveness of the universe when I was like 6 or 7 years old. I was like, wow. I was like, Mummy, what's the universe? Like, she had to explain it to me. Anyway, I was a very inquisitive child. But yeah, and I've lived for so long in a city that I forgot the stars. I've not seen the night sky in years. And I remember Denise's talk just made me so excited. And so I was like, okay, I'll have to talk to Denise, like do a session with her at some point. And I knew that I was entering time of big change and in my life, just because of my age, and then it's quarter century. Like 2025 seems a big universal shift of a year for multiple reasons. And for me, it's like my Saturn return as well. And so then I started talking to Denise, and then my mum said to me, I spoke to Tanya and you should start having lessons, like ask her for writing lessons, because I've always known I could write, but I've been blocked and been like, it's not good enough. It needs to be as good as this piece that I wrote like 10 years ago. And I'm never going to be able to write a piece as good as that ever again. So I just stopped writing. And so Tanya, I had a few lessons with her, and then I was like, okay, I'll just start a Substack and see what happens. And then one day I just woke up and was like, I should do a podcast. And then I just did a podcast. So I was like, I'm really, really busy right now, but I'll still do a podcast because it's really fun. And every time I have a conversation with someone, I smile the whole time. So
Wow.
and we have such cool conversations like we have had so far today. So
you had lessons with Tanya writing.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Can recommend.
But it's so not my thing. But if it was my thing, I would definitely go to her because she's so good.
Yeah.
And she's such a character. She's just
Wonderful.
She's just one Tanya, yeah, in this world.
There's no one else like Tanya.
No.
And
No.
we could all listen to her talk for hours on end.
Yeah, which is just, that's so cool. Have you had a session with Denise yet?
Yeah, I did. I did two last year, but I think I want to do another one like a year later kind of thing. Yeah.
That's great. I love this.
I love Denise.
I know, Denise is the coven leader.
Denise, we love you.
Wow, how cool.
I just remember when she stepped on the stage in Birmingham and she just had this whole presence about her. I was like, you're cool.
Yeah. I think it was the last evening, she sat down with Maida and I, and she compared our charts, and she read our charts. Yeah.
Because
and
how far apart were you born?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, and that made a difference.
In a sense, she said she found like qualities, and then, which is true, and then she assigned some qualities to Maida and some to me. So, because there are like the chart, they're not that much different, but there are qualities, and then one got one side of the spectrum and one the other, which
That's
totally
really
makes
interesting.
sense.
And because I guess twins are almost a polarity in themselves.
Yes, wow, you said that. Yeah. Wow. It's also very interesting that actually it turned out through some other stuff that Maida's, like, what she needs to do is have a horse business. So there's another big change in this year. We will decided to sell this flat, which is in the capital, and buy a property. And she actually bought a horse a month and a half ago. This is the first horse in our family. We've never had our own horses. And which is also a cool story. She went, she was looking for a horse her horse for 8 months. Turned out it wasn't that easy.
What's the horse's name?
Her name is Vilina.
Vilina, cool.
Vilina, which means fairy-like. It's also, so she bought a Lipizan mare. She bought a Lipizan mare from Lipica in Slovenia, which is where they originally started from. So we went to Slovenia to the stud in Lipica, which is a government-owned stud. She bought a Lipizan mare. And then through some other sessions, she realized that since it's a Slavic horse, she wanted a Slavic name. So Vilina is actually from Slavic, like, what do you call it? Can't think of the word. Like, oh my gosh, what's the word? Like the gods and stuff. What is that called?
Yeah, like mythology. Yeah.
So she has a Slavic mythological name.
That's so cool.
And so cool. And what's also cool, so Maida obviously works with her the most, but I also work with her sometimes. And this is like the first time in my life that I'm actually doing with the horse exactly what I want to do. And it's so cool, like right at the speed that I wanted or pace that I want to be doing it. And we do all the like the energy stuff, like sending her mental pictures. And she actually started responding of mental pictures. It's so cool. So for all the
Crying now.
yeah, it's just so
That's
cool.
really nice. Yeah.
And I kind of want to talk about Suzan Fay a little. I don't know if you know. Yeah,
Suzan Fay.
I know. I love Suzan Fay.
Okay, I think this podcast has just been like, these are all the people we love. Okay, Sacred Spaces is like one of the most beautiful, amazing books about leadership you could possibly ever read. So everyone read it.
This is a must. But when I was in Romania, so Romania was the last place I worked. No, that's not it. The last foreign place where I was. The last one was now in Croatia. But I was in Romania for almost 1.5 years, and there was a horse there. Just nothing worked on him. He was a Spanish horse, came from Spain, was 8 years old, a stallion, had scars on his nose from the Spanish stuff. And I just, after a few months, I realized I need something more. And then my friend Heather Drummond, who is friends with Suzan Fay, she recommended, go read this book, Sacred Spaces, read the book. And so I read the book, and then I booked a session with Suzan. And we have sessions recorded, and it's just crazy. The changes in the horse, how she's next level. She's next level. So yeah, I don't even know how to describe her. Yeah. Where I got the mental pictures from is from her. That's how she actually communicates with horses. And so far, because people want results, so no mental pictures. Like, you don't have time for that. Things need to happen, because otherwise they're losing money. And this is the first time we can actually do that, and it's so cool. So you just stand there, and you have a picture of, tell her, like, go in a circle around me, and the horse just walks off in a circle.
It's like a whole nother level of horsemanship. And it's like, because I'm getting there now with mine, and it's just like, I can't explain it. It's
the coolest thing ever.
I have some really amazing friends who I'm going to shout out about on here. They are Poppy Peach from How to Speak Horse, Ash Moon from Little Welsh Dragon, Kat Roy Stanley from Balance and Align Coaching, and we've been talking about transcending operant conditioning. So, because you have operant conditioning with the learning quadrants of like positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive punishment, negative punishment. And the way I started with my horses was purely positive reinforcement. But I noticed that at one point I was like, actually, this isn't sitting that great with me. And like with Fion, I noticed it was actually making him more tense. So I was like, this isn't working. So then I was like, okay, well, how do I set boundaries? How do I mix positive and negative? And that's where I kind of went next. And then I had Zirconia come along into my life. And she's my spiritual guide. Anyway, I had to rehab a lot of trauma in her, and I'm still on that journey now. And then enter Morgan. And Morgan is like my sunshine little pony who's amazing. And you can do, like, I remember the first time I did something with her, she came up to me a month after she moved, and she started standing on the pedestal. Like, I was just sitting on there, and she was like, I'm standing on here, and I'm going to do the things that I've seen Fion do. And I was like, oh, so you want to do stuff? Cool. Let's co-create, see what we can do. And then I was like, had her doing all these things. I'd never taught her that before. Never. And it was just like parking in at a step. I've not spent ages putting the thing over her bum, like getting her from the ground first. I've not done that. All I've done is stand on the step. I've said, Morgan. And she comes, la, 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 la. And then I just put my hand above her butt like that. And she parks in. I'm like, who is this horse?
Wow.
But isn't it amazing when you transcend operant conditioning? I think that's what it is. It's like having intention in your body, holding that intention in whatever way you can, whether that's an image that you're sending to them or receiving from them, whether that's a gut feeling, whether that's like an idea. Because what I do now, like a lot of people have methods and steps and structures, and like you have to do A and B and C and D to do X, Y, Z. And I'm like, but animals don't work in that way. They're just present. So I'm like, now I try and go to my horses and I try and sit with them and I'm like, what am I receiving from them? And the last time I was with them, I had Morgan say to me, I want to do big girl things. And I was like, well, what do you mean by big girl things? What is it? We're going to go outside and we're going to ride. And I'm like, okay. I said, but I need to just adjust your bridle first because I've not adjusted it to you yet and we've not done that yet. So let's just do that and then I'll take you out. And I just had this utter confidence and trust in her that we could do it. And we've never trained, but like I've sat on her twice before that. Once I sat on her just to sit on her, and the other time I sat on her for like 5 minutes and we walked around a bit and that was it. I've not trained her, cues, nothing. And I just sat on her and she just walked down the lane. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
It's like she'd been ridden 1,000 times before. And she's just like really cool because she's what I call like the pure horse and the ancestral horse because she had a very stable upbringing. She was born into a herd of, and people who've listened to previous episodes will know this, but she was born into a herd of 18 horses. They're all mixed breeds, mixed age, mixed gender. And she got to stay with her mum and dad until she was about 2.5 years old-ish. And she had her 2 younger siblings with her. And her dad was a wild horse previously. And she was allowed to, from maybe a month old, when her mum was doing lessons with kids, she was allowed to be in the arena during the lessons. She wasn't separated from her mum. She was with her mum. And like there's a photo of her like walking behind her mum in a riding lesson. So she's just got this like inherent knowledge in her. And I'm like, I wish every horse could have the foundational years that she had. And one of my favourite horse books, because I don't really read horse books, but one of my favourite horse books is What Do Horses Really Want by Lynn Acton. And I'm in her Facebook group and like she posted about like weaning and how we need to let horses naturally wean, blah, 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 blah. Because otherwise we inflict trauma on them, yada, yada, yada. And I commented like, yeah, my horse got to stay with her muff mum until she was like 2 years and 3 months, I think. And when I went to go pick her up, she always told mum and dad to go away. She was like, she resource guarded me. She was like, no, go away. And then she just walked off the property with me. They didn't call to her. She didn't call to them. She just got in the trailer and we went. And yeah, Lynn said in the wild, 2.5-ish is like between 2 and 2.5, I think, is when horses leave their birth herd and go on to form their own herd. So,
Wow.
And I just wish that was the standard for all horses.
Wow.
I really do.
I think it was Gareth Marie who posted, did you see that, about weaning horses off too young? That actually is the thing that causes separation anxiety.
Yeah, I think I missed that one, but
Yeah,
I'll go find it.
talking
But
about yeah. And I was like, this makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I never thought about it before. But I was like, wow, yes, why do it? Why? Like, it's just so silly. If you don't have,
Yeah.
okay, if you really have to, whatever, fine. But like, most people don't have to. Like, just leave them together. Why cause stress and the trauma for the mare and for the baby? Just leave them alone. Leave
Yeah.
them be. And now you tell this story, and I was like, this is exactly what Gareth was saying in the post.
Yeah.
So
And
amazing. So
I'm
happy
like,
there
why?
was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Oh
Because like
God.
everyone's like, oh, she's so easy, blah blah. I'm like, yeah, because she's had a stable upbringing. She's
Yes.
had a nurturing upbringing,
Yes.
which
Yes.
a human child would have if
Yeah.
they were in a stable home. She's
Yeah.
had that same upbringing.
My friend recently bought he was then 2.5 years old, Arabian stallion or stud, little he was a colt. He also lived with his whole family the entire time. His mom, his dad, and I think it was his 2 younger sisters. They were
Yeah.
all together. She went, he was like not handled at all. I think she went twice to put the halter on him. And then the third time she came with the trailer, they loaded him off, they went. That was it. No trauma, no nothing. And now he's still with the herd. She has two geldings, so they all live together. He's like super chilled. Not super chill. He's like you cannot tell that he's 3 years old, that he's a stallion, that he's Arabian. Like there's no like
Yeah.
crazy what blah blah blah. None of that. He's like perfect.
Because I sort of asked myself, there's a lot of stereotyping around breeds, and they'll be like, oh, you have a this and it does that. And I'm like, well, how much of that is actually inherently the breed, or how much of it is a condition of their environment? Yeah.
And I'm actually thinking all the crazy stallions, how crazy would they be had they actually lived in a herd
And
like
not been left on their
isolated
own in a field. Yeah.
or isolated in the stable for 23 hours and then 1 hour you ride him on like, and he's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
just, I
I
love
mean,
your
Morgan's dad was not crazy. Like, he was super chill. He was awesome. And I think he got neutered at like, I can't remember, like maybe 5, something like that.
like late-ish.
Purely just to stop him
Having
breathing
baby.
any more foals.
Yeah.
But he was still living with his girls, like, yeah.
Oh my, I love your story. I love your story.
Well, it's not my story, it's Morgan's.
Yeah, but you told the story. She didn't.
She tells me, so.
Yeah. It's so cute. So cute. Oh,
Yeah.
I love this. And like, when my sister bought this mare.
Yeah,
this,
sorry, we
like,
tangented from that.
No, not at all. It kind of has to do with your story. Like, I was looking at this mare and I was like, well, not all of them can have a bad life. Like, some have to have a pretty awesome life. So, like, you're just one of them. You'll just have an awesome life. So that's that. Like your horses. Some of them just have to have a good life, for heaven's sake. Like, not all of them.
Yeah.
You mistreated, like, ridden badly, like, chased around, like, some of them just have to have awesome lives. Thank God.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it was just so rewarding to like listen to your story and like thinking of my sister's horse and be like, yeah.
She's gonna have she does have a great life, and she's gonna experience a relationship with humans that is not the normal, but should be the norm.
Yes, yes. And like, also when you were talking about the mental pictures, I realized I wasn't ready for that before. Like 5 years ago, I wasn't ready for that because my mind was too busy. And because we think about crap all the time. And like, so they need to like just block all that out. Like, this is just a lot of rubbish. Like, just not pay attention to that. And then you have to use all the other stuff, which is doesn't have to be bad. But because we are so much, yep, we kind of, what do you call it? We prevent ourselves from like actually communicating with the horses the way we could.
And hearing, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we have animal communicators, and I said to someone the other day, they were like, oh, I really wish I could do what you do. And I said, well, you already are. And it's just, it's like a muscle. You will train that muscle and you will get better at receiving the communication from them, because it becomes more intuitive and more intrinsic, and you become more aware of energy shifts, and like you become more emphatic and more aware of emotional regulation, and a higher level of social intelligence, high level of emotional intelligence. And that all comes from just taking, like, if you're already listening to your horse saying no, you're already an animal communicator. Yeah.
Very good. Exactly. That's exactly it. And also the more you practice it, like you actually engage and like, I want to now listen to my horse, the better you will get. And the more you will tell yourself that what you got was actually the truth. And like you said, the muscle has to be built, like going to the gym.
Yeah.
Like nobody goes to the gym and like, yoo-hoo, like I can, no, it's
like,
hard.
I didn't used to be able to, well, my arms are so weak. But anyway, naturally, they're just weak. It took years of strength and conditioning training to even press like 20 kilograms.
Yeah. But
like bench press 20 kilograms took years. But we got there. We started at 5 and we got to 20 eventually.
Exactly.
I will never be able to bench press 40, but I could do 20. And that's fine. Like,
yeah. I mean, like,
it's that change.
Boundaries, like, pretty.
And it's that growth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But what I wanted to say about like our yup minds, once we clear all the crap that we are carrying, we actually can become aware. We don't like, and then the mind gets quieter, so we can actually not think about anything while being with the horses, so we're not confusing them. And then when we do think about something, it's actually intentional, and then they can actually follow that. But before, we have to kind of work on ourselves so that it can actually happen. So that I find cool, because now I'm actually at the point where I can totally not think about anything while I'm with the horse. I can purposefully be like, no,
just
blank.
be in the moment, like blank.
And then when I think about going her in the circle, that's the only thing I think about in 5 minutes or whatever. I don't know now. And then she can be like, oh, there's a thought. So that's super cool. But like I said, I wasn't ready for it before. I just wasn't.
And I think a lot of people aren't ready for that level yet, because you have to be able to put aside your own ideas, your own wishes. If you want to say, I want to ride my horse, you have to put that aside. And that's very hard to do that. Very hard. And we all, we have our ideas and a lot of us, it's not ideal, because a lot of us will be like, I have to go to the horses between this time and this time today, because of the structure of our society. It's like we have schedules, and that's hard because there's always a time limit. And for me, moving to the UK, because I tried to in the past, I tried to be like, right, I need to put away my expectations and my ideas of what we're going to do today. And sometimes I just didn't have the energy. I was like, I was just going to poo scoop and sit with them, because what am I supposed to do, like, with my horses? And I couldn't hear what it is they were saying. And now I go there because I don't get to go every day, because they're like 2.5 hour drive away. I'm going every 2 weeks, and when I'm there, I spend the whole day with them. So there's a loss of time. Time becomes completely irrelevant. And I'm just there, and it's quiet. My brain is quiet. My thoughts are quiet. And that's when you then hear the things come up. But I wish everyone could do that. I wish everyone. And it's like, how do you empower people to take that step? And that's the question I don't have the answer to yet.
I think you just do what you do.
And talk about it.
Actually, sorry?
And talk about it.
Yes, exactly. I actually fell into my own preaching trap that I tell other people. Like, there was a guy, I did a session with him, and he's like really wants to help his daughter and his wife, and they just don't care about self-work. They don't care, but he does. And so he drags them along to all the courses and whatever. And I told him, like, we did a session about it. Like, he also felt guilty because whatever, it doesn't matter. But like, they're on their own path. And like, we had a whole session about it. And then I catch myself like pushing my mom, like, no, you need to read these books and do these things. La 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 la. Like, No, no. And I did a theta healing session on myself on the beach yesterday. I was like laying in the sun and I was like, right, let's do this. Like, I don't want to, the way you empower others is and inspire them is just by being who you are and doing your
Mm.
things. That's
Yeah.
it. Literally, that's it. And what I don't mention things, but I don't like push it on others. Like I mention the presence process book. But if they don't ask another question about it, I won't mention it again.
Yeah. Because it's up to them to take that
To be
opportunity
like,
and
oh,
for
this is a
them to
seed.
say yes. They have to
Exactly.
say yes. There you go. Yeah.
But you have to offer them something to say yes to. Like I also
Yeah.
like to be invited to things and like being offered things like, oh, I came up and whatever. I had this, whatever. Because you need something to respond to,
Mm.
which is fine. But pushing it on others, not fine.
The question needs to be asked, but
Yes.
you leave it as a question and that's it.
And then if they catch the, then they ask another question.
Yeah.
So I think that's how. But like I said,
Yeah.
I fell into my own like
Practice what you preach.
and yeah, I totally now I'll see.
But
And
that's also the imperfection of being human. It's like, because I love Brené Brown as well. Not all her books, actually. I don't like. Okay, now I'm gonna have a bit of a. I don't like Dare to Lead. I thought it was quite repetitive of what she'd already written. Anyway,
I actually haven't heard of her at all.
oh, but I love. She has a book called Gifts of Imperfection and Daring Greatly. I read those two. They were fantastic. But Dare to Lead. It's really funny because I love reviewing books, and I was like, I feel like there was some pressure here to publish a book when there wasn't a book written, if that makes sense. Because I
Yeah.
read it, I was like, it's just repeating a lot of what was in the other two books, and I didn't really learn anything new. But yeah, anyway, part of being human is being imperfect, and sometimes you won't act in a way that aligns to your beliefs or teachings or principles. But that's also okay.
So okay.
Yeah.
It's so okay.
Yeah.
Plus, like I didn't even realize I was doing it until I realized. But I had to get there. I had to realize. Like I didn't have to realize, but you cannot also change something unless you're actually aware you're doing it.
One of my teachers with the horses, she tells me let them make the mistake and then say, hey, actually we're up here, we're not down there on the grass.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let someone make the mistake because that's part of being human and being imperfect.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. How cool. Totally. Let them, yeah, totally. And I let them make the mistake. So,
Yeah.
oh, there's so many lessons. Oh my goodness.
So I have 4 questions that I do ask people, which I will try and find on my phone. So just bear with me a second. This is how like in the moment I was. So I didn't even open the questions today. But maybe we can bring those in just for a little bit. Which one is it? Okay. So, what gifts have you received from horses, past or present, that keep showing up for you or is showing up for you right now?
Patience. I learned patience. I was utterly impatient. I know why, it doesn't matter, but patience. That's a big one. Yeah. Over the past, I think I've been riding since 1998, but I started like training horses, I think it was 2011, was where my sister and I found Warwick Schiller on YouTube. He had like 10 videos uploaded. And yeah, patience and but I'm not sure if I apply that in maybe I do. But yeah, patience is probably the biggest one.
And is there one specific horse that comes to mind when that comes up for you?
Not a specific horse, but a specific time is when I went to Africa in 2016. And I stayed there for 3.5 years. So for 3 years I was in Namibia, and for 6 months I was in Mozambique. But in Namibia, so I went with my sister, thank God. But the first year in Namibia, we were at the farm. It was a German-owned farm, but German from Namibia. People were from Namibia, like generation of Germans in Namibia. And they had a huge farm, and they had wild horses. They had completely wild horses. So 4 years old, never seen a person in their life kind of deal. And good luck. Like, don't get killed. But really, it was luckily we were subscribed to Warwick Schiller's web library, so I actually had some knowledge, and it was like you just had to step up. Otherwise, like when they kick, they aim like they aim. They never really kicked at us, but like they're very like it was just crazy. But I think I wasn't impatient. I mean, I don't know how to say that. I think that was my biggest learning curve in general with horses. And yeah, that year I went from wherever I was to like a lot slower, calmer, more patient. Yeah. Even though it took a few more years I mean, it's 2025. That was like 10 years ago. So, but yeah, I think that was the biggest learning curve. And that time comes to mind regarding
I think
person.
for me, it's like the biggest thing is like basically how the more I've been around horses, the more I've realized how much slow and smaller I still need to get.
Yes.
And more still.
Yes.
And that's just gonna happen over time. That's fine.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like healing trauma.
Yeah. But exactly like what you said. Yeah. Slower, smaller, lighter,
Stiller.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my next question is, what message do you want to send out into the horse world about horses? But maybe in your case, let's just make this the world about the world.
I think this is about all animals. And this is not my quote. This is what Warwick said, which is actually flippin' awesome. Like the animal you get is the animal you need. And even if they annoy you or whatever, like I had a dog that really could like, but it's, if you have any negative emotions regarding them, they came and they took this role, which is not a great one, to help you grow, literally. Because all the emotions, even the good ones and the bad ones, people cannot create in us. They just come to the surface. So if something comes to the surface, it's there to be healed. It came up so we can actually see it. So yeah, the animals you have are the ones you really do need.
I think it's the same with, I honestly can't remember where it comes from, the quote, but I think it's something like, you get what you need, not what you want.
Yeah.
But I don't know where it comes from.
It's awesome. Also, another one is from the book The Presence Process. It goes like you will be given what you can handle, but not a lot less.
You can handle.
You'll always be given what you can handle. You won't be
Yeah.
given more, but you also won't be given less.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you'll be
Yeah.
like,
So it's like,
even if it feels like you cannot handle it, you can. Otherwise, it wouldn't be given to you, basically.
thank you, life.
Yeah. Amazing.
Cheers. No.
Yeah.
Then we joke about this with flying. So a friend of mine became a captain last year, and he's a really sweet guy, but he is really nervous at speaking in public. And when you do, so when you pass the assessment that I've got to do, you then do something called a command course, which is like you do a bunch of simulators and like theoretical study, and then you go and fly real passengers as a captain with a trainer with you, and then you certain number of flights you have to do that. And when he started doing those, it was last February when the weather was just awful. Like every day there was a storm, like in the UK. And he also he's like, I've never had so many things break with the aircraft in such a short period of time. So he was like constantly calling the engineers to come and fix stuff. And he said every day, he was supposed to do 4 flights each day, and every day he was so delayed that he only did 2 flights. So every day he was having to go to the passengers in the terminal, do an announcement to explain what was going on. And he was just like, I hate doing announcements, but he's like, I've done so many now that I've just got used to them. And I said, well, you get the training you need, not the training you want.
Awesome. Yes, exactly. Awesome. Oh my goodness.
So there we go.
There we go. Wow.
So what's mine gonna look like?
Mm-hmm.
Let's find out.
Well,
anyway.
You'll find out what you need.
What do I need? I will see. Surprise. If your horse could tell us about you, what do you feel, not think, but feel, they might say?
Well, and I have a horse. I'm just kidding. Let's say what my sister's mare say. She would say that I give good cuddles, I think. Because we cuddle her a lot. She likes to be. And I don't know. I think she would say that she's never felt like this before. Yeah. Because now she's coming to like, what is this? To like, oh, okay. Which is cute. She's so cute.
Can we talk more about her? I want to talk more about her.
I
want you to talk more about her.
She's like this short little fat Lipizzaner. Like, she's so cute. The funniest thing is, my sister, she didn't go, that wasn't like why she picked her, but my sister always said she wanted I think there's a name for this color, so like a gray or a white horse with the dark mane. And this mare is like whitish with the black mane, so she also has the perfect color, which is so cute. But she's so not pushy, but super sensitive, and she's not like crazy. She doesn't overreact in a sense. So she's like the perfect balance of like sensitive, but not like, you know. And she's like active, and she moves like she kind of goes up in the air instead of forward. It's a Lipizzaner. So I'm so excited for her and for her life, and I'm so excited that this is the first horse ever that I won't say bye to, because like you go to
She'll stay with you.
Yes, forever, like until but like it's so hard. Like that's why I said I'm not doing any more of these horse jobs. I cannot say bye to horses anymore. Like you spend time with them, you connect, and it's like, well, you never see them again.
Gone.
Yeah. And I also don't want to work for other people anymore. Not in a sense like, oh, I don't want to, not like that. I just don't want to be told what to do. In that sense, I want my own horse. Horses will always be part of my life, always, because it's just impossible otherwise. But I want my horse. Like I have 2 cats, I want a horse. Like in the same capacity. These are my friends and my companions.
And your family. Yeah.
Yeah. They're my
But they really are your friends. It's like, a friend of mine posted, I think it was, who posted it? Someone used the word friendship instead of relationship with regards to horses, like how we should be building a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I like that word more than relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That sat with me.
Because they are my friends and our friends.
They are. Because we have conversations with them. you know,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
we support each other, we grow together,
Yeah.
we journey through this life together. And I think when you've connected with a horse, because I miss my friends' horses in the Netherlands, because I feel like every horse I meet and spend time with, I create a bond with. And I do miss them. But
You know.
I also know that a bit like friends in your life, you know, you have friends. Yeah, it's a funny word, friends. But you have people who are there in your life through various chapters. And whether they stay or go,
Yes.
they influence you in a way. And with the horses, like the gifts each horse has given me will always stay with me, even though I don't see them anymore. Like, I want to just shout out to my friends, because he's coming up now, is my friend's horse Tino. And like, Tino taught me to trot like a few months ago. He taught me to trot, and he helped me be less scared of horse riding. And his softness and gentleness and understanding that I was like a beginner, it's with me. Like, Tino's still with me. And when I ride, I sometimes say to Fionn, right, Fionn, we need some Tino fire. Like, let's be Tino. Like,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh,
And
that's so cute.
yeah, so they're always with us. They are.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess there are also lessons of not getting attached, but I mean, whatever. Like, I get attached.
You get attached because you're an emotional, emphatic
Yes.
soul.
Yes. But like, this one is here to stay, and there will be more because my sister now, that's her purpose. So she'll get more horses. And
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Like, and it's
Me
so
too.
cute. This little mare, now she lives with two other horses. She lives outside. Like, she has obviously a roof, but she's not stable at all. So now when we come, she leaves her friends and comes and says hi, which are like, this is like the true like confirmation that she actually likes us. Like, she wouldn't leave her friends otherwise.
I think that's what's beautiful, is when they choose to come and be with you, as
Yeah.
opposed to eat food or hang
Yes.
with their friends.
Yes. Yeah.
That's really big. That's a really big thing.
Yeah. And that was just like, anyway. So, yeah. Very exciting.
Because I think it's almost like a goal. Is like, you want to be a member of their herds and not the boss or the leader, just you're a herd member.
Mm-hmm.
And you hold the responsibility of their care and well-being and safety just as much as they hold the responsibility of each other's care, well-being and safety. But obviously in the domestic setting, you are the determinator of that, because obviously you choose where they live and how they live, and what food they get and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is your role, is they know that you're responsible for that, and that they should see you as a herd member.
Like, I really want this horse to like me. I want her to love me. Truly, I want her to love me.
Well, if she's already coming up to you, then
Yeah. So
she
I
does.
think we're on the right path.
I think that's the same with any animal. It's like, it's so nice when an animal can love you in as much of a capacity that they can. So like, your cat can love you as much as a cat can, in the way that a cat can express that love. And
Yeah.
it's the same with horses.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I think with horses it's just a bit different because we want to do things with them. Like, you don't ride your cat. Like, you don't ask the cat to do anything, you know what I mean? And with horses you have to find this balance, because you do ask them to do things, but like, let's try and find the balance where it's not as before. Like, let's find new paths so they also like have fun doing it.
Yeah. And what is it that your horse enjoys,
Mm-hmm.
and that you can enjoy doing together?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Gosh, this is so exciting.
Kind of
Very
like with
exciting.
friends, like, you become friends with someone because, oh, I really like going out and going plant shopping, or I really like swimming and we're swimming together.
So true. And then you do these things with these friends and not with the
Yeah.
ones who don't want to do this and don't enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cool. So cool. This is very cool. Thanks for this.
It's been wonderful. I have one more question, if that's all right. So it doesn't have to be a physical place. It can also be a feeling or a activity. But what or where makes you feel wild?
What makes me feel wild? Wild. Wow. Wow. One is like running on a horse bareback. And the other thing is when I'm at the ayahuasca ceremony, doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. Yeah. That. Cool. This is really cool question, and I didn't expect these answers to come up, really.
That's why I say to people, don't prepare. Like, just say
Yeah.
what comes up. And
Cool.
yeah, that last question is my favorite question, because
It's a
I
great
love the idea of like the wild woman and the wild horse and the wild cat or whatever. I'm just saying cat because I have a pet cat.
yeah.
You know, it's like what connects us to that wild archetype, because I talk sometimes about the book Women Who Went with Wolves.
With wolves. Yeah.
And it's really difficult to read. Like, I've been reading it for 3 years and I'm about 20% of the way through.
I
But
haven't read it.
it's
Oh,
a
it's on
really
the
good
list.
book. And it's like, even if you don't read the whole thing, it's still like, well, who is the wild woman within me and how can I connect to her?
Cool.
So there you go.
Cool. Wow.
Ayahuasca and bareback riding.
Yes. Yes, totally bareback riding. It's so like,
Nice.
it's just like so legit in a sense, so genuine, and it's just like, there's just something different about bareback riding than with the saddle. Wow. Cool question. Wow.
I
I'll steal
like
the
it
question.
when I feel trusting enough to remove the ropes and the reins.
Wow, that would be flipping next level. Bareback with just a neck rope. I
Or
actually
just
haven't.
not even. Just nothing.
Oh, wait. Yes, that's just the, yeah,
I would love to experience that.
yes, and
But
you
you
will.
have to really be
Yes.
you both have to be in the right place.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Because
I
you're
mean,
saying to the horse, I 100% fully trust you.
yeah, but that is the ultimate goal,
Yeah.
right? That is the ultimate goal. Wow, I'm so excited for this.
Maybe that is the ultimate goal
Yeah, I'm so excited for that.
for human and horse relationships.
Yeah. Because I like when I think about a horse and me, that's how I ride. Because that's like nothing, just me on the horse. But now when you said it, because I haven't done it yet, now I just thought of just the bareback, you know. But you're so right. Oof, that will be the ultimate. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I think that's a nice note to end on. I'm going to end it there, I think. Unless there's anything else that's coming up for you that you'd like to share.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Cool.
This is so
Well,
cool.
yeah, that was an amazing conversation. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you. Like, really, it brings me so much joy doing this. Like, and I smile every time. And it's just, yeah, I just really love talking to everybody. So, and having conversations. So,
yeah.
Where can people find you?
I have a website, which is harmonicpathway.com.
Nice.
And also, I have a Facebook profile, which is Senka Pazman, my name and my last name. And I have a business page, which is there to exist.
There to exist.
I'm not, yeah. But yeah. So that,
I'll pop it below in the links. But,
yeah, if people want to
and
connect,
tag
I
you
would
and
actually
stuff.
love that. I love meeting
Yeah.
people. I love it. It's so fun.
Because that's also why I did this, was like, I want people to meet other people who are like the people here, because then you can all connect together and share everything, and gradually, one by one, by making those connections, we change the bigger picture.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because I've had a very on and off relationship with social media over my life, and I have been cyberbullied, as I'm sure a lot of people had, and then I've been scared of like too much information being out there and blah blah blah. But actually, the horses have taught me to have a good relationship with it. And coming out of the summit last year as well, that's when I was like, right, I'm really going to go back on here and I'm going to stay on here. And I'm really like, because when I think back to when my mum first started doing natural horsemanship, there was only really like, this was the late 1990s. There was like Monty Roberts and that was it.
Yeah.
You didn't have the internet, you didn't have social media, and there's always a lot of negativity out there in social media. But for me, like, it's so wholesome seeing so many people practicing both good horse husbandry now, with like the growth of track systems and outdoor living, and like promoting unlimited hay and like keeping horses in a herd and all of those things. And then also just meeting other ethical horse people. Like, there's so many people now, like, even within the operant conditioning, you've got a lot of people who do positive reinforcement now. You've got all the people who follow Warwick Schiller. You've got like just so many people out there who are shifting away from the traditional mindsets. And
Things
that's
are
really
so changing. Things are so changing.
That is thanks to social media.
Totally. I actually had the same relationship with it. I deleted my Facebook and I didn't have it for years, and then bring it back and delete it and so on. And now I also decided it's just here to stay, because it just allows me to connect with all these people. I like deleted the apps off my phone, so it's only when I'm on the actual computer. So I'm not like on it, But yeah, it's just here to stay.
Yeah.
And it's a good tool.
It is.
Yeah. So
because otherwise we won't be able to do this, and like other people wouldn't be able to talk to each other, and we wouldn't have all these conversations with everybody. So
yeah.
Anyway, on that note, thank you very much for basically 2 hours of amazing talking.
Thank you. This is so cool.
And I really look forward to actually listening to it again, because I find when I listen back, sometimes it's like a future version of me needs to hear what I discussed with someone in the past, or what someone said to me in the past. And then I'm like, oh, this is like really true for me right now, and I need to remember to do this. So yeah, that's what's cool. So I'm looking forward to listening to this back. But yeah. All right, I'll stop recording now, I guess. Bye.
Bye.
I can't remember a time before you walked into my life. You took the broken parts of me and made it all alright. There's an easiness to your grace that I will never know, and every day this feeling only grows, and every moment with you just bleeds into one. Your easy smile greets my eyes just like the morning sun, a reflection of my soul, one heart that beats for two. Just know my love that